tributes continue to pour in for Searsmont Assistant Fire Chief Wayne Woodbury, who died on Sunday. He is the second firefighter to die following last month's fire and explosion at Robbins Lumber Mill. Assistant Chief Woodbury was being treated at Maine Medical Center in Portland. A procession was held for him yesterday, traveling through Searsmont before arriving at the funeral home in Belfast. Woodbury was a regular at Tracy's Diner in Belfast, and the people there describe him as kind and genuine.
We have so many regulars, but some are just special. You know, some they're wrapped around your little heart.
Pleasant, and he always seemed like he was up early and looking for things to do for the day. He was a pleasant gentleman.
Funeral plans for Assistant Chief Woodbury have not yet been shared. Another firefighter who had been in the hospital since the Searsmont fire has finally made it home.
Yeah, Jacob Spaulding, released from Maine Med yesterday. Our Christian Harsa spoke with Spaulding as well as his family and his friends.
Welcome home, Jacob. Words that Jacob Spaulding's family are happy to say and words that Jacob is happy to hear. Jacob Spaulding was in the hospital for a month recovering from his burns.
Just being back this way and seeing all the people is just wonderful.
Only 31 days, but it's felt like a long time.
That's right.
His sister Catherine Spaulding and godmother Maria Vowles were anxious to have him back.
Not having him here has been the hardest. He's usually never too far away when you call him.
Nope, you call him and he's there all the time. No matter what he's doing, he drops what he's doing, he comes back.
And he did answer the call last month. It was one of hundreds that fought the blaze at the Robbins Mill in Searsmont. It was one of a dozen who were injured.
He put his life on the line. You know, when you're a volunteer, you do. You don't know this is going to happen.
Emery Whitcomb, a former volunteer firefighter, says that makes Spaulding something special.
He is a hero.
I believe I'm just another average guy like everyone else. I just make the choice to make a call that no one else wants to take sometimes.
Amongst the people he serves to protect, if the call comes again, he'd answer.
I'd do it over again and make sure everyone's safe. That's the whole point of doing it. That's the whole reason I started the first time, and it's the reason I'll keep doing it.
After a month in the hospital receiving care, Spaulding says he's happy to be home. In Montville, Christian Harsa, News Center, Maine.
The town of Searsmont is accepting donations to help people and fire departments impacted by that Robbins fire. For more information, you can check out our website.
The Searsmont Fire Department just received a generous donation from a department in Connecticut. The North Thompsonville Fire Department announced it has donated one of its engines. The agency says passing this equipment on is an honor, adding that the fire service is built on mutual aid. Okay, the decision has finally been made, and it turns out the city of Portland will not be asking certain nonprofits to make payments to the city.
That's because the Portland City Council voted to not move forward with a payment in lieu of tax or pilot program. Our Katie Delaney joining us with the latest on this. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Lee and Sharon. Now, the goal of the pilot policy was to address Portland's tax burden. The city has about $4 billion worth of tax-exempt property. City officials estimate that if those properties were subject to property taxes, tax bills for other property owners could be about 20% lower. Under the policy, nonprofits with above $10 million in property would have been asked to pay about 40% of what they would typically owe in property taxes. City Councilor Kate Sykes argued the growing tax-exempt base is placing a burden on Portland taxpayers.
We have services that we need to provide as a city that we do not have the resources to do. And every year around budget time, we get calls from constituents saying they can no longer afford to live in the city.
Though some city councilors said they appreciate the intent of the pilot policy, they ultimately voted it down 7-2. They voiced concerns about the effectiveness of the policy and straining the city's relationships with nonprofits. Several nonprofits spoke out against the policy, including Maine Health, colleges, and more. Though the policy would be voluntary, some nonprofit leaders worried they would be pressured into participating, and the money would have to come out of essential services they provide for people.
Unfortunately, this proposal doesn't set us up as partners, but rather treats us as a burden that needs to be solved. The nonprofits in the community want to serve the people of Portland, and we want a good working relationship with the city.
The final vote to reject the pilot policy comes after months of discussions and postponements. I'm Katie Delaney, News Center Maine.
All right, thank you, Katie. People in the Waterville area are getting ready to say goodbye to an elm tree that's been part of the community for 150 years. City officials say they're cutting down Ellie the elm in Castengay Square because it has Dutch elm disease and will die soon anyway. Before they do that, there will be a celebration of life this afternoon at 2:30. It's free to attend. There will be poems read, speeches made, and art projects to participate in. And they're going to be saving some of the tree's wood for future creative projects.